Hello everyone and welcome to Game Changers. My name is Safia Hosein and I am a helicopter captain. Although I am a helicopter pilot, my first step into aviation started by flying airplanes in Trinidad and then going on to obtain my Canadian commercial fixed-wing license. I was, however, always drawn to the versatility of the helicopter and longed to be flying in one and be able to hover like a hummingbird in the air. The first time I flew a helicopter, I had the biggest grin on my face and I felt like my soul was dancing. That's how I knew I wanted to be a helicopter pilot. And even though I've been flying for over 2 decades, that feeling has never gone away. I am Trinidadian and my helicopter career started in Trinidad flying staff to offshore oil and gas platforms. I did that for 6 years. However, when I was 26 years old, I decided I wanted to travel more and create my own adventure. I packed my life into one suitcase and moved by myself to the Middle East. I had never even visited that part of the world, and now I was working with nationalities from all over the globe. It was very intimidating, but also opened up my eyes in a good way to operating in another country. I continued flying offshore oil and gas for 3 years and then decided I wanted a change and moved again to another Middle Eastern country and was qualified as a maintenance test pilot. What I did essentially was test fly aircraft when they came out of maintenance and performed safety and system checks to ensure that the aircraft was airworthy. I did that for a while and then decided I wanted more of a challenge. I traveled to Italy and became a type rating instructor on the Augusta Westland 139 helicopter. That qualification meant that I could teach a pilot to fly a complex aircraft. Following that, I applied and was selected to be the first female VIP line pilot. I'm also search and rescue and night vision goggle qualified. What I loved most about that job was that even though I was primarily based in one country, I was given the opportunity to fly in many different countries around the world, thereby combining my love for aviation and travel while mastering experience as an air mission commander and operating under different rules and climates. My biggest accomplishment to date has been flying with a world leader who is also a pilot. We flew together in the same cockpit, and to date, I have been the first and only female pilot to have accomplished this. I grew up in Beach, which is a rural part of Trinidad, and although I was always surrounded by nature, I never truly appreciated its beauty until I was much older. I was supposed to have traveled to Montenegro last month to start training for a trek to K2 Base Camp, a mountain partly located in Pakistan and part in China. Everyone's travel plans got thrown out the window and I found myself with some free time and I asked myself, what can I do to pay it forward? It occurred to me that I had opened an Instagram page many years ago. I had never really paid attention to it. It's called Pilots and Passports. Pilots because I'm an aviator and passports because I love to travel. I decided to try and use it in a positive way, and although it's a very small step, I hope to expand my idea or collaborate with like-minded people in the future. I have 20 years experience in aviation, and some of the biggest challenges I've faced are bias in all forms, racism, sexism, etc. But I learned how to deal with these issues and would like to pass those learning moments along. Although my work is in aviation, I wanted people who visited my page who have no interest in being a pilot to feel like we've made a connection. I recently wrote a post about body positivity and not seeing all the flaws when we look at ourselves in the mirror, but embracing and loving our bodies. I wrote about a personal experience, which is quite scary to do on social media, but it was really well received. And someone actually commented that you never know how similar people's experiences are until you've read or heard about them. She was now going to try and look past all the perceived flaws in her body and embrace them instead. This was from someone I had never met before, and it was absolutely worth telling my story. If I had to describe myself in 3 words, I would say curious, fun, and adventurous. My adventurous side has pushed me to experience some pretty spectacular things. One adventure was in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Before going, I did my research and took advice from people who had gone before, and myself and my husband were escorted by armed rangers throughout our stay with the Virunga National Park. It has to date been one of the most memorable trips because I was able to summit a volcano at over 11,000 feet and stare in wonderment into its crater at lava bubbling the size of 2 football fields. I also spent the night on the edge of the crater and listened to gas explosions all night long. 2 days later, we went trekking and came upon endangered silverback gorillas, and I fell so in love with these spirited animals. The best part was being able to give my tourist dollars to an organization that works for the betterment and protection of humans and animals. The advice I would give to my 15-year-old self is the same advice I would give to young women today. Don't base your self-worth on airbrushed pictures in magazines and social media. Beauty is not defined and extends to every skin color, race, and body type. Embrace being you because you are unique. It's better to be unapologetically yourself than a sad carbon copy of someone else. If I had the opportunity to address the young people in my country, I would say, not everyone is on the same trajectory. Not everyone is going to go from high school to university to a job. Not everyone has the means to do that, and some do not have a support system to help them. Don't look down on people who are not on the same path as you. Let's all try and respect people for doing an honest day's work instead of respecting them for what they do for a living. Another thing I would say is if you are truly passionate about something, there will always be criticism. That's a fact of life. Try to take on board the constructive criticism, but then tune out all those who are only being negative and focus on accomplishing your dreams. Try not to grow old and have regrets about the things you didn't do because someone else discouraged you from doing them. My future plans involve traveling the world. I've been to 50 countries and hope to visit them all one day, even though my plans have been delayed a bit. So while I'm not sitting in an airplane at this very moment on my way to some strange and exotic place, I do have the time now to slow down and give back. In closing, I'd just like to share some words I live by. The only limits in life are the ones we set ourselves. Impossible is nothing. Have a great day, everyone.